It's Monday, June 2nd.
It was also really yellow, almost like there was a filter outside, and it was scary.
Fleeing to safety, thousands across Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta being forced out of their homes because of wildfires. Some areas are now running out of space for everyone.
The imperative of making Canada an energy superpower in all respects has never been greater.
Prime Minister Marc-Andre wants to get going on major infrastructure projects. Premiers will bring their wish lists to the meeting at Saskatoon today.
As a result of these preliminary facts, it is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
Police say a man attacked a group of people in support of releasing Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. The FBI says they're investigating this as an act of terror.
What did you pay for this?
$50.
Was it worth it?
I think so.
Last-minute deals and lost jobs mark the end of a company with a history woven into the fabric of our nation. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Good morning. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
I'm Kelsey McEwen. Hope your Monday is off to a great start.
And welcome to June, everybody, right?
Yeah.
It is June 2nd. Did you wake up yesterday and like, whoa?
First day of meteorological summer, and I had a winter coat on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. We're going to talk about the weather coming up and how that's impacting the wildfire situation in so many provinces. Tens of thousands of people have been forced from their homes in Manitoba, in Saskatchewan, and Alberta because of fire.
We've never experienced anything like this before. So it was very, very kind of scary.
More than 17,000 people have been forced out by fire across northern Manitoba, 8,000 people in Saskatchewan, and about 4,500 people in Alberta. In Manitoba, officials are having trouble finding places for people to stay. Indigenous leaders have called on the government to suspend upcoming conferences to make room in hotels for evacuees. Meanwhile, Quebec is sending firefighting teams to Alberta to help with these wildfires. Quebec Premier François Legault says several days of rain in Quebec has made it possible to send help to other provinces. 2 Quebec water bombers are already in Saskatchewan. 2 others are working in Ontario. Nation building projects are top of mind as Prime Minister Marc-Andre meets with Canada's premiers today.
In all respects, we will do it in partnership, or we're doing partnership with Indigenous people, do it in partnership with provincial governments.
During a meeting with energy executives yesterday, Prime Minister Carney said he wants to make Canada an energy superpower. To help accomplish that goal, the Prime Minister promised during the election to slash approval times for certain infrastructure projects. Premiers will come into today's meeting in Saskatoon with their wish list of projects. Breaking down provincial trade barriers is also expected to come up during the meeting. And we've already seen new trade deals between provinces ahead of today's meeting.
Together as Team Canada, we can unlock free trade within Canada.
All of these are steps forward to a lower regulatory differences between the provinces.
Ontario and Saskatchewan now have a memorandum of understanding in place to free up trade between the 2 provinces. Ontario also announced similar agreements with Alberta and PEI. Alberta's deal with Ontario also opens the door for Ontario to join a trade partnership between BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Prime Minister Carney has promised to break down those provincial trade barriers by Canada Day. And the Prime Minister has chosen former UN Ambassador Marc-Andre Blanchard as his next Chief of Staff. It's a move some people think will be popular in Quebec.
When you think about what this Prime Minister has to thank for when it comes to the size of his government, a lot of seats delivered in Quebec. He wants to make certain that he maintains that.
In an online post, Prime Minister Carney called Blanchard one of the most accomplished builders, legal experts, executives, public service, and diplomats. He will take over the Chief of Staff role from Marco Mendicino in July. Sources have also told CTV News that former Justice Minister David Lametti will become Carney's new principal secretary. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says he doesn't see President Donald Trump extending a pause on most of his global tariffs.
I think that's the deadline, and the president's just going to determine what rates people have. If they can't get a deal done, President Trump is going to determine what deal there's going to be.
President Trump announced his global tariffs, as we know, in April, then backed off after stock markets plummeted. That 90-day pause is due to end early next month. The Trump administration facing legal challenges, as we know, on many of its tariffs as well. This comes as U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum are due to double from 25% to 50%. President Trump says that will happen by Wednesday. 8 people have been injured after a terror attack at an outdoor mall in Boulder, Colorado.
It was very strange to just hear a crash on the ground of a bottle breaking, and then it sounded like a boom, and then people started yelling and screaming.
A group of about 20 people had gathered at the mall to support the Israeli hostages still held in Gaza. A man, the suspect, used a flamethrower and Molotov cocktails to set people on fire. Police say the suspect yelled "Free Palestine" during the attack. No charges have been announced yet. Police say the injuries that people suffered range from minor to serious, and the FBI is calling this a targeted terror attack. Hudsons Bay has closed its doors across this country for good.
You won't work like 30 years and more.
To be let go in the end without nothing, without even the slimmest slight of hope.
I feel for all the workers. The last day of business at Bay stores was a mix of bargain hunters looking for last-minute deals and workers facing an uncertain future. The store closings put more than 8,000 people out of work. Most of those people let go without severance. The Hudsons Bay brand will live on under a deal with Canadian Tire. As for its storefronts across the country, more than 24 leases will be taken over by BC mall owner Ruby Liu. She's planning to reopen stores under a new banner in BC, Alberta, and Ontario. Canada Post has rejected a request to send its labor dispute to binding arbitration.
Arbitration is a long, drawn-out, and very legal process. It would leave our employees still without a contract.
The union for 55,000 workers made the request for arbitration Saturday. Canada Post made its final offer last week. The company has asked the federal jobs minister to force a vote on the offer. The union has come out with a statement. I'll read a bit of that to you. Quote, "A forced vote may fail to end the labor conflict and risks further division, prolonging uncertainty for all parties. Arbitration would end the labor dispute immediately and create certainty for all Canadians." These high school students in Alberta are doing some of their toughest work of the year.
I'd probably be in my bio class in my physics doing some sciencey stuff, but I'd rather be out here.
More than 200 teens have been working to clear buffalo berry bushes from around the Kananaskis village. It is the same spot that will soon host G7 leaders. The aim is to get rid of the bushes that attract wildlife like bears, making the area safer for humans. That's Anne-Marie laughing. Experts note there are more than enough berries deeper in the woods. So go there. The berries won't be cleared in time for the summit, so fences will be keeping wildlife away. This is more of a legacy project for the teens, I'm told.